I'm a 19-year-old natural female and I want to be better than JacksFit. So I'll be either trying to equal or outlift JacksFit. In the next couple of weeks, I will be undergoing JacksFit's program, which I had to figure out through extensive research and figure out if it is achievable for me to do. This video was a challenge because not only did I have to go through and figure out the truth behind how much he actually lifts, but also had to do a lot of calculations through his rage baiting. So without further ado, let's get into the stats. I have just learnt that JacksFit is no more than a month older than me, meaning we are both 19 years of age. JacksFit weighs in at 65 kilos with clothes and eating, and at the end of the day, I weigh in at 84 butt naked and in the morning, meaning that is my lightest weight during the day. I am still a whole lot larger than he is. However, JacksFit's height comes into 6'1", whereas I am 5'3", meaning Jack is 10 inches taller than me. JacksFit has more experience at the gym with me, having going months and months before I had even got a membership. So needless to say, Jack has way more advantages than I do, especially with the fact he is not natural. So through my research, I have developed a program which tells me what Jack does at the gym. Through this, I discovered that he does a push-pull split, which is what I'm currently doing, but as of next week, I'm actually starting a 4-day split again. So it's not as easy as me just replacing my normal exercises with what JacksFit does and calling it a day. I pretty much have to dedicate a whole week to this now. So not next week, but the week after, hopefully I will get all the clips of me in the gym doing JacksFit's program. This took a lot of figuring out for me, but here I have it. I've got the push-pull and leg day. One thing I'd like to address is the fact that Jack focuses on the big three. I do not partake in the big three anymore. I no longer deadlift due to persistent knee issues where I just fucking gave up. This I haven't done in a couple of months. I have never properly back squatted. I've only ever done Smith machine squats, but for the same reason as deadlifts, I do no longer squat. I'm actually starting hack squats again next week, but I have not squatted in a very long time. And on top of that, I've only benched twice in my life, including just a couple days ago. But currently, my working weight is 27.5 kilos, which I would say is alright for a second time female bencher. But before I get into the actual clips, I want to give you a rundown on JacksFit. This is JacksFit, or better known as JacksFitness on TikTok. On TikTok, he has 500,000 followers. Jack allegedly started his journey into fitness in 2022, however he did not start posting his journey on TikTok until late 2023. Jack has always had hate throughout his journey on TikTok, and the haters still follow him to this day. Unfortunately though, it is undeniable across the years that Jack's fitness has indeed made progress, with the majority of that progress coming from his usage of MK677. Haters still follow Jack, comparing him to others who started at a similar time to him, staying natty, and progressing more than him. There are people in his comments who genuinely express their impressed to Jack, but ultimately, haters have made it hard to tell if Jack's fit is rage baiting or not.
Sam Sulek's ultimate arm workout. That's what we're doing today. Boom!
Starting off with tricep pull downs. You know Sam Sulek loves a good tricep.
With the poor form that Jack displayed at the start of his fitness journey, and additionally with how weak he was at the start, it is no surprise that he was a massive target for bullying online, which results to him now being very hard to read and leaning into the rage bait a lot. However, this also comes with a stubborn mindset of him refusing to accept help and gym influencers using him for content.
You fake every single lift, I swear. Everything's fake, you're actually very strong. You just play it off so you get views.
Exactly.
Go down! Go down! I've worked out JacksFit's formula.
So where does this go now, you may be asking? Well, for a week, I will be doing JacksFit's workout regimen. As I said at the start, I want to see how I compare to JacksFit. Personally, on my fitness journey, I've been incredibly inconsistent. Last year I went fairly consistent until I got a job, which resulted in me not going for about 6 to 7 months. But then at the end of last year, in the last week of December, I took up going to the gym again, and I've been going at least 3 times a week, every single week since then. So as someone who's only been going to the gym consistently for 6 months now, I want to compare my strength. So for each day I'm at the gym, I'm going to be doing the exercises that JacksFit does and trying to do his weight. And if I can do less than his weight, I'm not calling that a failure, I'm calling that a goal. And if I can do more than his weight, then good job for me. This took a lot of research and a lot of calculations because Jack has lied about how much he actually lifts. It was also difficult because he gives really no rep range. If he does it till failure, he'll tell you that he's doing it till failure. But other than that, I'm just gonna have to guess. If it's a light enough weight for me to do, I'll just do a normal rep range. Say, for example, if it's tricep push downs, I'll just do until 12. However, that was a poor example because that's one of the examples where he does it till failure. Additionally, I'm not going to be going till failure on every single set. It will just be on the last set. So it will be a work in progress for sure. But I'm going to start creating the program on Lifter right now, so I'll keep you guys updated. Sorry for the terrible video quality. This is not a Alia thing, this is a shitty laptop thing. So we're on Lifter, we're gonna go ahead and create the JacksFit program. Unfortunately, this will spoil the video to the people who have me on Lifter. So, alright, we're starting off with push. Another thing I want to note is I'm creating this and I'm just assuming it's 3 sets for everything because I don't feel like doing any more or less. So, alright, there we go, that was quick. So, I already have the 6 exercises for the push day. I won't be going into them now because you'll see them when I do the push day. But the only one I have more than 3 sets for is bench press. I'm not excited to do this by myself, but I will do a warm-up set of just the bar. So don't worry, I don't want to hurt myself. And just like that, I've also put in the pull day. 5 exercises. And 2 of them are lat pull down variations, so that's great. I'm actually worried I don't have a plate loaded lat pull down at my gym, but it's fine. I'll suss it out whenever I go to the gym next. Right, and just like that, the 5 exercise leg day is also put in. Now, he does back squats, as I said earlier, but unfortunately I will not be doing that because I don't hate myself enough. So I'm just going to be doing his weight equivalent on the Smith machine and hoping that I can get it done.
Before we get into the actual workouts though, I just want to say I put up a poll on my gym Instagram asking how many people actually knew who JacksFit was. Out of those who responded, 60% said they did and 40% said they didn't. So I hope you learned something in this video for the people who did not know him.
So yes, you're reading the title correctly. I have in fact lost weight.
Alright, let's start with the push day. So I started with tricep push downs, cable push downs, whatever you want to call them. Jack can only do 27, he does it till failure. He does it with rope as well. I was doing 30 kilos. This is obviously with double pulley. There's no way either of us could do this without it being a double pulley system. As you can see, I was struggling a lot. So I took it back down to 25. I thought, fuck, am I gonna really fail? Am I really gonna do worse than Jack? I managed to do my normal 12 reps. And then I decided, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna change it to the thing that I usually use, the attachment I usually use when I do my push downs, and that's the V-bar. As you'll notice in a second, I do actually perform better using the V-bar. I think I focus more on actually being able to move it in the right direction rather than like getting the rope to, you know, maneuver right. So yeah, I managed to do that with 30 kilos for 12 in the end, which was pretty awesome. That's a new record for me. So yeah, needless to say, I think I can say I beat Jack at that one. Moving on to lateral raises, I actually hit a PR here. I did 6 kilos for 12 reps for this particular set. Jack, I can only assume by images that he does around 5 kilos, so I'm going to also take the dub on this one. Now, my first attempt of a seated shoulder press for 10 kilos to beat him, I only managed to push out 1 rep.
Why is 8 kilos easy, but 10 kilos hard?
So the rest of the push day was actually recorded the next night. I got too tired and I just went home. So this, you can see I'm pushing 10 very easy. And I'm pretty proud of myself. This was the most weight I pushed. Jack can only do 9 kilos each hand, but he has shown that he can do more weight for just a single rep. But I will take this over, you know, just pushing the 10 kilos once. So once again, I am considering myself the winner in this category. This is where things started going a little bit downhill. I'm doing bench. Now, mind you, this is my 4th time ever doing bench, and I'm just warming up with the bar, and that was going pretty well. Then I decided to be a little bit silly. After I did my working sets, I was trying to see what I could do as my 1 rep max. So this was me failing a 35.
I could feel it. It wanted to go off.
So then I went down to 32.5 kilos, and I do successfully do this. But however, at about here, I really badly hurt my neck, and it's still injured. So now I'm moving on to incline bench. Obviously now I'm injured, so that doesn't help, but I thought I'm not going to try push myself to do like 17.5 kilos like JacksFit can do assisted. I'm just going to stick to my weight, but instead of doing 8, which is what I normally do, I did 10. And it was flying, but I didn't want to hurt myself, so Caden ended up doing 18 kilos as his warm-up, so I'm considering that my victory of beating Jack. Not really. So I did lose in this category. The last exercise of a JacksFit push day is flies. Now, as we know, I did hurt my neck. I wasn't going to push myself, so I just matched his weight at 30 kilos. It was actually not that bad. I do not do this exercise anymore, so I'm pretty impressed that I managed to match it. But yeah, I'm gonna consider that a dub.
At the end of the day, if I'm going to focus on legs, my body's not going to grow, is it?
As I said earlier, I do not do deadlifts anymore, so I was warming up with 30 kilos. There was no way I was going to be matching a 120 kilo deadlift, but I thought it'd be interesting to do anyway. I ended up doing 60 kilos, which is what I used to do for like maybe 1 or 2 reps, and I managed to push out 4, which you'll see here. So I'm considering this a personal victory. I'm pretty proud of myself, and my deadlift form is definitely probably something to work on, but you know, it's alright. It looks lighter than it feels, hey? On to my sworn enemy, squats. So I did 20 kilos for 6 to start with as my warm-up. It was alright. As I said, I had suffered with a little bit of knee issues in the past, so I'm actually glad that I managed to push this out, but my goal was ultimately to get at least 1 rep of 40 on the Smith machine. It's not exactly the same as a back squat, but if I can match the weight, that's all I really cared about. Caden was trying to show my depth in the recording, but it didn't really show, so I swear it was going a lot deeper than it looks, but here we go. I did 40 for 1, and 40 for another one, and I was honestly surprised that I managed to get that out. Leg press is where I call myself the ultimate victor, so I started off with a 40 kilo warm up. All I had to beat was 60, and I usually do 90, so this is me doing an 80 kilo set for about 12 reps. Then I thought, fuck it, we loaded up 100 for me for my last set, and honestly, I wish I could have pushed out more reps, but I was saving a lot of energy for leg extension. Alright, I might just be making excuses up. But yeah, I did do 100. I cannot exactly remember how many reps it was for, but it felt alright. I don't do leg press anymore. I do single leg press because my quads are very underdeveloped, so I'm winning this one. If you know me, you know I'm the calf redundancy queen. I love training calves. This is me doing calf presses or calf raises on the leg press at 100 kilos. I usually do a drop set that's about 60 kilos on this after I'm done, but I thought today that I would do a drop set of Jack's weight on the seated calf raise. As a fat girl, I'm privileged to have very big calves hidden under a layer of fat. So here is Jack's whopping 20 kilos on the seated calf raise. Now, calf raises are not optimal when seated. I fucking hate them. You don't get that full stretch, and this was way too light for me to feel anything, but it's alright. That's why I did my calf presses, so I could actually feel something. So, fun fact, Jack lies about the weight that he does for his leg extensions. He does not do 56 kilos. The machine's in pounds. I've researched it. Here it is. So it's actually equivalent to 25 kilos, which is my normal working weight. So this is me doing 25 kilos as Caden is recording here. Now, because I have to either beat or match him, I thought I'd beat him in this category, so this is me doing 30 kilos. I fucking hate these, because as I said before, quads, underdeveloped, pretty much non-existent, but they actually felt pretty good. And the final day is the pull day. Now with my neck injury I was very worried about this, so I started off with my normal working set, 35 kilos, which funnily enough is pretty much the same as what JacksFit does, assisted. I've seen him do 30 kilos assisted, I've seen him do 35 kilos assisted. I can't figure it out, but I did 35 to start off with. So I also did 40 for the same amount of reps after that, but this is my final set, which I tried to do as many 45 kilos as I could push out, which ended up being 3, so I am the winner in this category. Now the thing that confuses me the most is the fact that he does 2 lat pull down variations, and one of them he can only do 20 kilos on either side, which is probably the easiest thing I've ever done. It looks difficult, but I was more just struggling about why the fuck this machine stops at a certain point, which may be just my machine, but I did 20 kilos on either side easily, and Jack stopped doing so many lat pull downs. Where I can't beat Jack is how the fuck he does 40 kilos on either side of the row machine. So I did 10, I think, on either side to start off with, then Caden had his warm up of 30 on either side, and I managed to only get 2 with one arm. That was my left arm, but you know, I went back to safety and comfort and just did the pin loaded. So barbell was interesting because I've seen him do the straight bar and the like Z bar, whatever, I can't remember what it's called. But I've seen him do both and it's always around 15 kilos. I only did it for 6 reps. He could probably do it for way more. But I'm calling it a match simply because I have better form. What you're about to see is definitely not a match though.
Getting like 0 reps from this. Fucking hell. Try not to laugh.
So it turns out I cannot do 10 kilos. Yeah, bicep curls are not my strong point. But I do 6 kilos normally, and I was obviously able to do that with ease, without swinging up all the weight. 10 kilos I knew was going to defeat me, but I'm proud of where I got.
Look at her blue eyes. Oh, look at you babies. I know.
Sorry, I've put no effort into actually trying to put decent camera quality in for the last clip of my video, but unfortunately, I have hurt my neck so fucking much. I am done with moving, so I am laying in the same position I am whilst editing. I don't think I actually made it clear enough how much I did hurt my neck. I've hurt my neck 4 times this year already. It's some sort of nerve thing in my neck. I keep fucking pinching it. I don't plan on fixing it anytime soon, so I'm just gonna keep hurting myself. On a serious note, let's get back to the topic of the video. What did I learn? Well, I learned that I can actually push myself a little bit more, even if it is just the goal of beating someone else. I've learned that ego lifting is not worth it. I've learned it is very embarrassing to record yourself at the gym. I've also learned that steroids go a long way. On a more serious note though, I really wish that Jack would actually try put in more progress rather than just going to the easy solutions. As I said, I've only been consistent for under 6 months now, and I have almost matched him in most categories. Obviously I know mass pushes mass, but I think to a certain degree there's a level of strength that you do actually build up when you try. And I have been trying, but for the longest time Jack was trying, he wasn't trying, no one knows. I just think that overall it's very disappointing how he's been at the gym. But I want anyone who goes to the gym that's watching this to maybe try beat some records of his that maybe you think that you can build towards. You're only deadlifting 110 now, maybe try 120. Obviously I won't be doing that anytime soon. I did really enjoy making this video, as embarrassing as it was to, perform. So if you do like content like this, I do have a couple more videos that I've already posted if you haven't seen them, and I will be making more in the future. So thank you guys so much, and I really hope you enjoyed. Also, I did cut all my hair off, and I really hope that pisses you off that there's a big change in hair.